So welcome and thank you for joining us. I want to let you all know a few housekeeping things. At the end, you'll have a very quick 2-question survey to complete about the webinar, and we hope you'll take a moment to do that. And also, we do read those, so and they do help us in finding what you need next. So please make sure you complete those if you have an idea for a webinar. And also wanted to let you know that everybody is on mute except for myself and Kathy. And so that way we avoid any background noises. There is a place where you can ask questions in chat. If you have a question, you don't have to do the raise your hand thing. Just type in your question. Kathy will get to it if it's pertinent to where she is in her presentation or at the end, but we will answer all questions. So welcome, Kathy, the crafty chica. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here to share tips about Instagram. And I have spoken with a lot of studio owners who are already embracing it. And it's just about getting out there and using it as a platform to promote your business, to promote your studio, get people excited. And Instagram, like Facebook, is very popular. And if you're already set and comfy with Facebook and how things are going, it's time to up your game and embrace Instagram as the new family member into all of your marketing and promotional material, because there are so many benefits with it. So let's see. Let me go to this next slide. Okay. So Instagram started in 2010. In 2012, because it was so popular, it got purchased by Facebook for, I think it was like $3 billion. So it just shows the power of it and how popular it is in pop culture. People use it for all different reasons, and we will go into that. But I just wanted to let you know, like, it only started in 2010, and look at how fast it has grown. People love it. And the main thing with Instagram is it's all about photos. It's all about inspiration through photos. And then you can use things like captions and hashtags and call to actions to up that even more. So here's an example of a mug that I painted with my little rendition of Frida Kahlo on it, and it was very popular. It got 525 likes on it. It's a fun picture where you can see in the background there's other mugs. Up front and center is like the money shot. Like you want to get a nice clear picture. And then over here on the caption, I have my hashtag Frida, because that's a popular hashtag, talking about how it's fresh out of the kiln. So that tells a story of excitement of like, woo, I just opened the kiln and this is what it looks like. And then I added these other hashtags on there, and you can see where people get excited and leave comments. And so Instagram is such a great way to tell the story of what is going on with your studio, so that people see that it's more than just, you know, another location, you know, another storefront. No, there's a story going on where you're at. There's many layers of the customers, the employees, the displays, the ideas, all of that. And you can capture these moments in life of your store and put them on Instagram so that people can get excited with your journey. So it's all about, a big part of it is just daily life. So Instagram is filled with very artful and savvy users who rely on Instagram for all different reasons. When it comes to having their own account, they want to build a following. By building a following, that is based on the types of pictures that you post. You are creating, think of it like a big storyboard, an inspiration board that would be in your studio. What pictures reflect who you are and tell your story? And so that is what it's about, is building a following to tell your story of all the things that make you unique. It's also all about promoting your business. I have coming up in the presentation, I'll show different ways that you can promote your business, but you always want to have that in the back of your mind of like, okay, my whole purpose for having this is to promote my business and share my story. So you want to be purposeful for every photo that you post so that it feeds that to promote in a positive way. There's other people who use Instagram strictly for selling items. Some people have an account for their business, and then they have a side account where they sell items. Like some of the fashion bloggers, they're showing on their main account what the latest trends are, their latest styles, and then they have a second account that's called maybe their closet account where they sell items that are off season or left over, whatever they have, just to get that going. Instagram is also about storytelling, and I mentioned that earlier. So this is if you have a fabulous event that you have been building up to, you want to show the moment, like when everyone's in line walking through the door for that event or getting set up, and the excitement that is there. It's also about curating the best of the best pictures. It's not just about posting any old picture up there just to feed your stream. No, you want to make every picture count. You want for people to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I want to be there. I want to go to that studio. And therefore, it's also about sharing inspiration. So whether if it is a quote on a plate or a mug, or if it's a technique to inspire people to learn how to do something new, maybe it's to inspire family get-togethers. There's just so many ways to use Instagram to share that inspiration. And there's a lot of people who always also use Instagram for contests and giveaways. Okay, so as I said before, it's definitely one of the most popular social media platforms. You can reach an entirely different audience than on Facebook. Now, here's the thing with Instagram. Do you know that Instagram has grown, it's like 34%, whereas Facebook has been growing at 3%. So it just goes to show that it is evolving, and a lot of people are there. It's a different audience. So don't just think because you do Facebook that you're covered. You need to look at Instagram as an exciting opportunity to reach more people and different people. Double the people that you're reaching. And it's also such a great way to engage with your customers on a more personal level, because in this day and age, there is so much competition for our attention, short-term attention. We all have short attention spans because of everything. So you need to do whatever you can to make that personal connection with your customers. So say you have a big sign in your store, not just by the cash register, not just on the front door as you go in, but in your store. Maybe there are tent cards on the table that have your Instagram account, and say, make sure to follow us, leave a comment, geotag that you're here. And then you follow along with that, and you see the people who are doing that and leave a comment on their picture and say, thank you for stopping by, thank you for visiting, because then it creates that, oh my gosh, they answered me, and that will create that connection to where they'll see you as a person and your business as, like a place that they should support. So if you can work on engaging with people if you notice there's people who leave comments on all of your pictures, boom, those are your cheerleaders. So you want to go in and make sure to connect with them and show appreciation. Another great tool for using Instagram is you can check in to see what's trending by looking at the top hashtags. Now, to do that, you would go into Instagram and click on the little magnifying glass, and you can see where it says hashtags, and you can see what people are talking about. So say you click on it one day, and it's the color yellow, and that's what everyone is posting all around the world. They're using the hashtag yellow because Instagram has picked out that hashtag to be popular for the day. Well, jump in on that stream and take some cute pictures of something yellow that you have in your studio and hashtag it yellow so you can get in on that top hashtag also. It's also a way that you can see what other PYOP studios are doing, and you can cheer them on and support each other in that way too. You can repost one of their pictures, you can leave a comment or a like, and chances are that they will comment back on yours just to share the love. And it's a great way to share what you're doing. Maybe it's, you in your office at 11 at night, the stores are closed, and you're drinking out of a coffee mug that you painted, and you're sharing that behind-the-scenes moment of like, oh, this day was hard, but I accomplished so much, and, we had 70 people through our doors today, and all I can think about are those 70 people who got creative today because of our store. Post something like that people will want to comment on. And it makes it easy because you can also set up your Instagram account to post over to Twitter and Facebook. So that way you're multitasking. So here's some tips for setting up your account. If you have not set up an Instagram account yet, these are some tips that I would recommend. Number one, you want to set up from your smartphone. If you try to set up from an iPad, it gets kind of wonky, and I know this from firsthand experience. You can't set up from your desktop. It has to be from a smartphone. So before you even go to set it up, you want to make sure that you know what your Instagram handle is going to be. And now you want it to be as close as possible to your store name. If your store name is taken, then you can add your state abbreviation to the end of it. Like, for example, there's this store I love in New York City. They're called Love Shine, and their handle for everything is Love Shine NYC. So that way you know that they're located in New York City. So, don't just use your own personal name because it's all about branding. You want to be able to tell people, go to my Instagram, it's Duncan_ceramics. And that way they'll easily know as opposed to having to give your own name. So keep that in mind. You also want to have your profile or logo picture set up in your smartphone so that you can upload it. You want to know what your description is going to be, that you can put, we are a studio based in blah, blah, blah. We inspire creativity. Every day we have more than 10,000 unpainted pieces of this just waiting to be created and transformed, whatever you want to put. And then your URL to your website. You always want to make sure you put your URL. You want to put where you're located and what you do. And then once you have your profile picture, your logo, your description, your URL set up, you want to upload at least 8 to 10 nice photos. You want to have captions with those and hashtags. If it takes you, you can set those up ahead of time, like pick out those photos of what they're going to be so that you will have your pages. Think of it like you're setting up your house before you invite people to come in. Once you have those photos set up, your description, your picture, your name, all of that, you're ready to invite people in. And then you can look at other PYOP studios to follow customers, local media, local artists, and magazines. I always tell people, do not start following people until you have your house set up. Because what's going to happen is if you invite those people to come follow you and you don't have any pictures or your description or a profile picture, they're not going to want to follow you back. So you want to make sure to have your house all set up so it looks nice and inviting so that when you follow people, they will be excited to follow you back. Okay, this next one, I'm going to show you the steps so that you can post to your business Facebook page from Instagram. So we're going to start over here on the left. You can see where it says Crafty Chica in the upper right-hand corner, that little gear. You're going to click on that little gear. Okay, the next one, you're going to see where it says linked accounts. You're going to tap on linked accounts, and then it's going to pull up number 3 where it says share settings. See where it says Facebook? You're going to tap on Facebook, and a new screen will open, and it will say Facebook, and it will say share to Crafty Chica or your name. You're going to tap on that, and this is where people get lost, is they don't take it to the next step. You're going to tap on that. It's going to open a fifth screen that says share to. And if you have your business Facebook page connected to your personal page, it will show up right here. So you can see all of these different pages that I help manage. And so I just tap on Crafty Chica, and that means whatever pictures that I post on Instagram will go to my Crafty Chica business page. So if you say you are having a busy Saturday at your studio, you set your phone so that they all post to your business page. And then maybe the next day you want to share a picture just to your personal page. Then you would go through these steps and then click to your timeline, and it will only post to your timeline. So those are the 5 steps to connect your Facebook business page. Let's see. I'm looking at the questions here. Okay, it's just the sound, so we'll get to that part later. Okay, the next most important thing, if you want to post good photos, now the photo on the left, that is not a good photo to post on Facebook. Why? Because it's dark, it's kind of blurry. I mean, what is it supposed to be about? Now, the one on the right is a lot better because it's back a little bit more, it's brightened up, and you can see a little more context in it. It says, you make everything beautiful. It has the sign on the wall, and then it has these things around it that are beautiful. So it's not just about throwing up a picture. You look at it like calories. You want it to be good calories, not empty calories. So when you have a photo, when you take the photo, try to take a photo in good lighting. I would suggest for the maximum quality, take it on your camera, on your smartphone, and then upload it to Instagram as opposed to taking it directly from Instagram, because you will get a better picture if you take it from your smartphone camera and then open up Instagram, and then it will be in your photo library. If you're in a pinch or in a hurry, you can go ahead and take it directly from Instagram, but if you have the time, I suggest doing it from your smartphone camera. That makes it a lot better. And think about it, like if you don't have to just take one picture, take a few pictures and then choose the best one. Play around with the different angles. You can use the editing in your smartphone to lighten the photo, or if you want to add text onto it. Some people like to watermark and put their business name at the bottom of each photo. That is totally up to you. So here are some best practices, and I know I'm going through a lot of information, but you can save this presentation and then read through it later on. Okay, so you want to post daily or at least weekly. That way it shows that you're active, you're staying in the stream. People say, yeah, these guys are, they know what's going on. It looks so fun. They always have something cool that they're sharing. And make sure to set up the geotag, your location on your smartphone where you're posting your pictures so that it will show up on your photo so people can find your shop. If they're using Google Maps, they can just tap on that and it will show exactly where you're at. I don't suggest this if you're posting from your own private home, but when you're at the shop, then you definitely want to use it. And you don't want to post a lot of the same shot or event. You want to choose your best one. So say you're having that Saturday party. You want to have one crowd shot, one product shot, one supplies on the table kind of shot. You don't want to post a whole bunch of crowd shots, a whole bunch of mug shots. You want to make it varied so that it will be more interesting on your feed. And brighten it up, both literally and figuratively. Make sure your photos are bright. Those tend to do better. Make sure your caption sounds fun and inviting. Don't just post, here's our mugs on sale. that doesn't sound inviting at all. You can say, hey, it's the holiday season. Make your own toasty, warm mug, to celebrate your love of coffee. Here we have a lot of ideas to choose from. Make it sound inviting. You want to know your call to action for each picture. What result do you want from posting the picture? So if you're posting a picture of a crowd of people working, you want to show that your call to action is like, oh, look how much fun we're having. Are you looking for something fun to do on a Saturday? Come join us over here. Say it's a workshop coming up, so you have a pretty shot of a plate or whatever the product is, and say, here's the perfect Mother's Day gift. Come on in and learn how to paint this or learn how to do lettering. So you want to know exactly why you're posting the picture. When it comes to your captions, make sure to check your spelling, because a lot of times when you're on your smartphone, it's so easy for autocorrect to mess it up. And I had one of those this morning where I posted, oh, he's taking Maya to dinner, and autocorrect changed it to, he's taking my hair to dinner. So I just about died. I was so embarrassed. So make sure to double check autocorrect and your spelling and everything to make sure it's perfect. You want to incorporate hashtags. We had an earlier presentation on hashtags. And if you're using photos of your customers, make sure to ask them and say, hey, is it okay if I take a picture of you for Instagram? If it's kids, I don't generally take pictures of kids unless I get their parents' permission, because it's just kind of sticky. You can get like the back of them or maybe their hands, but you generally want to get permission from their parents. And make sure to post visible signage in your store of your Instagram account. And if you have a hashtag, do that too. And then reward your customers who help promote your store through Instagram. Offer discounts for them posting a picture or for tagging you or for sharing or reposting one of your pictures. And then, again, make sure to connect to Twitter and Facebook. Okay, so Jackie is asking, can you review the wording you would use for tent cards on the table? Well, you could put the Instagram logo, which is very recognizable, and say, follow us on Instagram, and then you put the @ sign, and then, Crafty Chica or Duncan_ceramics. So it's just as simple as that. Okay, so the next one, these are some tools that I have used to help me manage my Instagram. You don't have to use all of these. You can pick out one or two. It's overboard to use all of them, but I just thought I would put a variety of them here. And Latergram is my favorite because you can load up photos and then you can post them each day and write the caption and everything, so you can get that done ahead of time. Iconosquare is where you can see all the metrics of your Instagram account. Tagboard is all about hashtags. Repost is where you can repost your favorite pictures and give a shout out to those people. OfferPop is contest and management for giveaways. And then another good one is Instagram for Business, and that will help you give more ideas for your business. Okay, more tips. Engage with your commenters. Notice those people who are frequent commenters and reward them by giving them a shout out. You can work ahead of time and build a library of photos that you can store on your smartphone or desktop computer. Don't feel like you have to take every picture in the moment. You can take a bunch of pictures ahead of time, edit them. I do it like watching a movie. I'll sit there and edit pictures on my phone, and that way I can upload them when I need to. Don't buy followers. That's something that people tend to do, and it will mess up your engagement and mess up everything. You don't want to sound spammy or salesy. You want to be authentic and show how fun you are and your store is. And you can also ask questions in your captions to encourage engagement. So it's not just saying, here's our workshop. You could say, hey, guys, which one do you like better for our upcoming workshop? And you can use your brand or color story to unify your feed. So, for example, I had a friend talking to me this week like, hey, Crafty Chica, you love the color red. Every third picture you should incorporate the color red so that when you look at the whole stream of pictures, there's that unifying color. Okay, I'm going kind of fast because we have 5 minutes left. So here's some ideas for photos. You can rotate these types of pictures to keep your feed lively and fun. Pictures of supplies, used and unused, like maybe all fresh paintbrushes, and you say, oh, here's the before picture before the class starts. And then maybe later on in the day you show those same paintbrushes after they're used after the class. So that shows the story of like, yeah, people got down and got dirty and painted with these. Shots of brightly colored supplies, rainbow paint colors all in a row makes for a beautiful picture. Maybe hands that are painting something, pictures of finished workshop projects. Group pictures work really well, like uniform items, like if you had a mug class, you have all 12 mugs on the table, take a shot of all those 12 mugs. That's very enticing. A certain technique. A video testimonial. Instagram has 15-second videos. Well, it's not the most popular thing why people go to Instagram. It's still a tool that you can use. So you can have someone talk about what they're making or maybe share a technique. And trendy items. This week, everyone was talking about the Starbucks red cup. Now, you can set aside the controversy, but you can say, hey, you guys, don't stress out over the controversy. Instead, come into my studio and paint your own red cup any way that you want. And then you can post it on Instagram. Look what so-and-so painted with her red cup. We're making our own red cup. So you can, like, play off the headlines and trends and news articles, give it a positive spin to inspire people. A kiln reveal is super fun. You can show, maybe it's Kiln Friday. So every Friday you have a 15-second video opening up the kiln to see what items are in there. And maybe those, if you can ask people, say, if you see your project up on top, you get a 5% discount. So they know to check every Friday. I talked to one studio owner. She does a shelfie where she has the shelf of items that came out of the kiln, and then she posted on her Instagram, and if you're a customer, you look, and if you see your item on the shelf, then you get some kind of discount or a coupon. Another idea is a selfie wall in your store where people can go and hold up what they made. And you can also, it doesn't all have to be photos in your studio. It can be a motivational quote about creativity. And then you can say, you know what, if this quote speaks to you, you need to be in our studio. And that is my last slide. So now I'm going to go to your questions. So Corin is asking, when using repost, do you also acknowledge original poster in your caption? Yes, I always do. When you use repost, it will show the name of the person of the account that you reposted it from. It will automatically incorporate that into the photo, but I also like to give them a shout out in my caption as well. It's just good practice because what happens, and this has happened like 9 out of 10 times, they end up giving me back a shout out. Or they will repost it, or they'll do something like, oh, my gosh, look, Duncan Ceramics reposted my picture. So it just makes for a good cycle back and forth going on. So that's a really good question. Does anyone else have any other questions? Are you overwhelmed?
No, some great ideas. I love the shelfie. That is so cute.
I know, isn't that a great idea? And you can see the picture I put up of the emojis because, Apple just released some new emojis and people were just so excited about them. And so we were like, hey, let's make some cool emoji plates. And those things have been so popular. Like everybody wants to make them because they're relatable. And we use them in social media and then it just kind of filters over into pop culture as well.
That's great. Jennifer has a question. Can you recommend any books on Instagram?
I don't really know about any books on Instagram. What I do, because the landscape changes so frequently, I would suggest using Google and typing in best tips for Instagram 2015 or even November 2015. You want to get the latest articles that are coming up. I would suggest following Mashable. Mashable is a great website that is always on trend with what's going on. My problem with relying on books is that they can easily be outdated very quickly because the landscape changes so fast. So I would recommend Googling and using the month and the year. Do I have written instructions for posting to your Facebook business page? It was hard to follow in the present. Oh, thank you. She thought it was excellent. You know what? Let me talk to Laura after this, and maybe I can do a little video tutorial because it really is easy. I did some classes recently, and once I showed one person how to do it, they're like, oh, my gosh, that's all you do, how to do it. So maybe I can do a little video step by step, and that will make it a lot easier.
That would be great. That would be great. And if you do that, I will send it out to everybody and post all over our social media.
Perfect.
I appreciate it.
So Corin is saying, I recently started my Instagram account, but I seem to be following more than I have followers. Okay, that's okay. That is totally normal. What I would suggest is posting more photos on your page and make sure they're, look at the hashtags that are trending, to make it so that yours will get bumped up in there. Because what's going to happen is the more quality that you post, the more people will come. If people aren't following you, then you look at that and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? How can I make this better? And look at your photos and say, okay, how can I post better photos on here? It takes a lot of experimenting and playing around. I mean, sometimes I'll post a photo like that Frida cup. It had like 500 and some likes. And then the next day I'll post something and it will get like 30 likes. And I'm like, what's going on? So it's hard to tell, but if you just are steady with it every day and then comment on other people's accounts, and then usually they will come back and follow you. Another tip that I've done before is you can partner with another Instagrammer that's kind of like you, has the same kind of numbers, and you guys can share each other's page. So, for example, I'll share, oh, you guys, check out this picture from I Love to Create. I love what they did with this. And then I Love to Create will post a picture from Duncan Ceramics and say, look what Duncan Ceramics did. Make sure to go follow them. That way you're partnering, so it's a win-win situation. And do you have any other questions? Are you guys excited for Instagram? I know a lot of you are already using it. Hopefully there are some tips here that you didn't know that you can try.
Fantastic. Anybody else have any other questions? Well, yes. The email is attached to the follow-up that I do later in the afternoon, along with the recording that you can watch. I think your chihuahuas are bored, Kathy.
I know.
And so I will email out the link to the presentation and also the link to the webinar later this afternoon. It takes a few hours to get that downloaded and uploaded, so look for that later in the afternoon. And also everything is housed on the CCSA website. So on our website, you can go under convention events. There's a drop-down for webinars. And every webinar that we have done and recorded in the past few years is on there, as well as the presentations. So this will be on there as well. So are there any other questions? If not, we're going to close this up. Kathy, as always, it was wonderful, great information. We appreciate you sharing your brain with us. And
oh, no problem. I'm excited to do so. And just, if you have any other questions, I'm always on the CCSA chatter board. Just go out and have fun with it.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you, and we'll look for that video later when you get that done. I will send that out as well. That would be great. Thank you, and thank you guys for all joining us. And this is our last webinar of the year, so we will start posting about our new webinar calendar for 2016 very shortly. And Kathy is going to be a big part of that, so thank you for that offer, Kathy. And thanks again, you guys. Have a good holiday, and we will see you in the new year. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. And don't forget to take your short little survey when you get your email. Thanks. Bye, everyone.